Hi, it's Kylie Davis here from CoreLogic. I'm here at the Inman Connect 2018 conference in San Francisco. It's the world's largest real estate and property tech conference, and this year it's attracted more than 5,000 real estate agents, major franchise groups. The themes at the conference this year have been automation, robots, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, imagery, but mainly around this whole idea of, do the agents lead the technology, or does technology lead the agents? And how do you combine all of this information to make an amazing customer experience? And how do we move the industry from being a sales-led industry to being a service-led industry? I'm speaking to Victor Lund from Wave Group, a futurist and an observer of the real estate industry and its technology for the last 20 years. So Victor, what have you seen at the conference this year?
Yeah, this has been a great conference. I'm really excited. Brad's been a friend of mine for many, many years, and actually one of my partners helped Brad put on the first Inman event. So it's really incredible, what he's done here. You see this mashup where the leading real estate brokerages and franchises in America are here, and international brokerages and franchises are here. They're battling with what business models are disrupting the real estate industries, which ones are winning. Then you have all these technology companies here as well, and they're trying to reimagine how real estate companies can function more effectively and leverage technology to deliver better consumer experiences and make the process of real estate a lot easier. And of course, they're sort of butting heads as well. There's a lot of this belief that real estate technology is going to take over the real estate process, and we don't really see that happening. In fact, Redfin is here, and in America, Redfin is the #1 broker website. They're right behind Zillow in terms of overall traffic and audience to their website. But
which is great for a broker site.
It's incredible, right? But one of the things that we've learned is that Redfin, despite all of their success with their website and all the millions and millions of consumers that they're driving to it each month, and all the leads that they're creating, and they even offer consumers a discount brokerage fee if they use Redfin agents to do a transaction. Despite all of that, they have less than 1% market share after being in the business for 10 years. So it's really a pretty phenomenal thing. So you have that, and then we see Compass is here. If you guys aren't familiar with Compass, they're a Manhattan-based company in New York City.
One of the biggest venture caps in real estate for funding.
They've raised, I think it's about $850 million to launch their business. Nearly $1 billion. And their goal or ambition is to grow their company to 20% market share in the United States by 2020. So 20 by 2020.
So they're going to be pretty aggressive.
They are investing in real estate agents. They're buying companies, and I mean they are just going gangbusters. And of course, one of the difficult things that happens is when a company like that comes in and really sets a target on growth. Their target is not on profitability. So traditional brokers who are trying to compete with them and still eke out a margin at the end of the day are just overwhelmed because they don't care.
So that's more like a startup model where it's growth more than profitability that is kind of that really important thing. So what are is there anything that you've seen or that you feel is coming through the industry that is going to be the next step change that's going to really propel us forward, or that we're going to have to deal with next?
Yeah, well, and it's great to be here with CoreLogic because, you guys are one of the most impressive data companies in the world. And one of the things that we see happening that's really changing real estate tremendously is what we call customer data platforms, and it's the step up from the client relationship management or CRM system that real estate brokerages have been doing. So by integrating, everybody talks about big data, but it's really not the data itself which empowers your system. A customer data platform becomes smart. And it's able to predict the likelihood of somebody transacting, before they even transact by looking at a lot of attributes around their behavior. And I think that's one of the things that we see. So, the old model was, hey, let's go advertise and find sellers, and then, put and market their property for sale. And the new model is
it's a lot more proactive.
Well, let's curate information about consumers. And we actually don't have to advertise to get that customer anymore. I can use data to get that customer, and I know when they're ready to transact. I can see events that are happening in their lives, and those events will trigger a likelihood to sale. I'm going to say something that's a little
controversial?
Well, no, but
Okay,
you know, if you think about household formation, so you know, if you and I are married and we decide to get a divorce, guess what?
Oh, we are completely selling the house.
We're probably selling the house, right?
How much are we
yes,
getting?
I know exactly. But you know, so that's an indicator, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's using big
New
data and
babies.
predictive analytics,
Yeah.
and so you know, by going into like say a city and saying, well, how many divorces are being filed every day? Well, what if I told the real estate agent all of those likely transactions, and then you started to focus your marketing around doing that?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
What a big, you know, so
Yeah.
that's just one little thing.
But we're
that,
seeing
you
too,
know,
aren't we? Because you mentioned then the the big data is fueling the CRM,
Yes.
and then the CRM is fueling the marketing platform,
Yes.
and then that's all kind of feeding back into the predictive analytics. And
Exactly.
So what we're seeing now, I think we're on the cusp of this coming together of the platforms where they're kind of, you know, connecting between each other as opposed to having to log in and out of all the
Yeah.
different things. We're starting to see them come together.
Now we're getting
Yeah.
a little geeky, right?
No, well, we can get our geek on. That's
So,
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is one of the things that has really begun to shake the real estate industry. So, here in America, a typical real estate brokerage might have between 10 and 30 applications that they provide to their real estate professionals to use in the process of managing their business or supporting home buyers and sellers through a transaction. And for, you know, the old model is that the data would be, you know, sort of siloed in each one of those 15 to 30 products.
And that might include like their
CRM,
CRM,
CMA,
just even their phone
virtual
and
tour,
their email.
calendar,
Yep.
transaction management,
Australian
flyer
agents have the same
systems,
issue.
market, like it's, and you know, you're sort of duplicating your data in each and every one of these. Well, what's happened recently is that APIs or application programming interfaces have sort of emerged. So now you can connect applications and you can actually build workflows across those applications. So like here's a really easy example. A real estate agent would get a new listing and they would enter that listing into their listing management solution, and that listing management solution would use the API to talk to the marketing system, which would go dynamically build a virtual tour, dynamically build a flyer, dynamically build a postcard, send that to the real estate professional who just reviews the material, makes any modifications they want, and then they sort of approve it, and then that uses an API to then go out and say, all right, I'm going to send that just listed postcard to everybody in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
going to build the flyers. FedEx is going to deliver them to the real estate agent. It'll be on their desk in 4 hours. They'll walk out and put it in the flyer box. A sign service will come, guy will put a sign in the yard.
Yeah.
Like all of these things are happening, triggered off the one event. The only thing the real estate agent did is enter their listing and approve it,
Yep.
and then all of this automation happened immediately using APIs and
So this is
yeah.
great news for real estate agents,
Yes.
really, isn't it? Because at the moment we're in this horrible kind of hybrid world where the technology makes the agent do all this really
Yeah.
busy stuff, but suddenly they're going to have all of those tasks freed up. And then if you overlay on top of that the ability to give a voice command to set that out, or
Yeah.
even spell out then the time that you're going to save is amazing, and that's going to actually give real estate agents time to focus on relationships again, I'm hoping.
yeah. So there,
maybe lift
there's
the
one
bar.
company that built an Alexa app.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could sort of talk to Alexa and say, Alexa, show me homes. They haven't done like the voice automation for the types of activities that the real estate professional would want, but we sort of see, I think you guys are partnered with DocuSign, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
So
Yep.
DocuSign's a client of ours.
Yep.
We're working with them to go into Europe next year. We're really excited.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, with DocuSign, they have this, you know, they've reimagined this stuff. So you can prepare documents, you can sign documents, you can hydrate those documents with data, and then you can manage and store those documents securely, and you can initiate that workflow, you know, with voice.
Yeah.
So you
Yes.
can say, hey, DocuSign, prepare Kylie's sales agreement.
Yeah.
And DocuSign can then go into my CRM and say, let's find Kylie. Is this the Kylie you mean? Yes, that's my Kylie.
Yeah.
Great. And they have all of their contact information, and they can say, well, what property address is Kylie selling?
Yeah.
Is it her home
Which
address
of
that's
her
in
many
your,
mansions?
well,
Yeah.
you know, is it her home, you know, that's here in New South Wales or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And just fill out all the paperwork, and then just say, would you like me to email it to your banker right now? It's like,
Yeah.
yes, I would.
Yeah.
You know, so all of that workflow automation is sort of, it's in the imagination stage, but
Yeah.
we see companies having the aptitude and the capabilities of delivering on that.
It's the stepping stones. You can see them starting to kind of step out now, can't you?
It all starts with imagination, right?
It doesn't feel so far away, and
Right.
I get the feeling too from what I'm hearing at this conference that it's, you know, it's not going to take long. Like there's only going to be a couple of things that drop, and then suddenly it's going to take off again. Like the idea of a Google Home or an Alexa app that is actually a B2B kind of thing for a real estate agent to connect all of those different seamless applications together is, I think, really exciting.
You know, you brought up something very interesting about, you know, home automation.
Yeah.
So one of the things is, you know, home automation has really been adopted pretty significantly here in the United States. However, when you sell your home, you have to figure out a way to securely transfer that smart home, its passwords, its everything, to the new buyer.
Yeah.
And we haven't figured that out yet. It's a massive problem. I mean, in a lot of cases, they're just tearing that stuff out because it's kind of freaky to buy a home and think that the prior homeowner can just come and walk in the house because they have all the credentials.
All the passwords.
Yeah, so you know, people are just ripping it out. And it's kind of a little bit creepy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I even want my home, this inanimate object, to know as much as these homes know about me. I mean, it sounds weird, but I think some people are a little put off by it. Like, I don't want Alexa listening to me all day long.
No.
So anyways, there's some interesting new privacy things, you know?
Yeah, there's always the kind of need for legislation or protection to keep up with the technology.
And hopefully industry guides itself down the right path rather than legislation having to come in and sort of set it straight. I mean, we're going through, you know, even Americans have to go and, like, you know, we're dealing with GDPR compliance because there's a lot of companies here in America that work with people in the EU.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like their laws set in the EU, and it's impacting people here. So like US businesses have to go and become GDPR compliant, even though they may only deal with one EU customer every 3 years. And it's like that's where legislation can be an insane burden on a company.
Yeah. But improved professionalism and improved kind of dedication to service is hopefully going to address a lot of that. And I guess also identity verification and things like that will, you know, and owning your kind of own digital identity and being able to swap that out.
So, you know, that's fascinating you mentioned that up. One of the companies that we work very closely with here in America is called Equifax. I think that they're available in, you know, many of the countries that you operate in. And it's spooky what they know about you, you know?
They know everything.
But real estate is leveraging that data, and I think CoreLogic has some of these reports as well. So you can do like lead scoring. So before you show a house to a new customer that you may have just met over the internet, you can find out a little bit about them to make sure that you can do it safely.
So it's not just a Tinder kind of thing, swipe left, swipe right. You've actually got a little bit more background on them than that.
And you know, the National Association of Realtors has done a great job with realtor safety. There's Realtor Safety Month. I think it's September of every year. And you know, thank goodness, because we've had, you know, a number of tragic incidents that have happened to real estate agents that are out working with buyers and sellers. It doesn't happen a lot, but if it happens once, that's too much.
That's too many times. Victor, thank you so much.
Yes.